One of the biggest questions related to Loftia is, what is the general progression in the game like? Today I want to answer that question and go over the biggest aspects of progressing through the game that every player will experience. Keep in mind that this specific video is being made during the closed beta of Loftia, so everything we talk about can change before early access and once early access launches, though I would wager that all of the general ideas on a foundational level are likely to remain consistent. Check the table of contents if you want to skip around to different ideas. First is the main aspect of progression that every player will experience: questing. As you begin the game, you are thrown straight into some quests that will teach you the basics of Loftia. You will unlock your house, meet important NPCs, be introduced to the gameplay systems, unlock a bunch of items, and unlock new maps to go to featuring unique content and items. If you are just starting Loftia, progressing through the quests is a good idea to get everything unlocked so that you can begin doing everything that is available within the game. Ultimately, completing all the quests doesn't take too long and is dependent on how fast you play through the game and whether or not you get sidetracked by a million other things like I do. On top of the main quests that guide you through everything in the game, there are a handful of other side quests that you can participate in as well to learn about other stuff and see the world. Then, very similar to quests, there are a handful of other similar ideas that we can see, such as the different bundles that you can find throughout the world, where you need to collect items and fulfill the bundle to get some rewards. There are also community goals you can find throughout the world, where the entire community has to come together to contribute different things to get different rewards. Beyond questing, there is a lot of progression in the game. Once you spend a little bit of time progressing through the game in a linear fashion to unlock everything, the game gets a lot more horizontal. For anyone who doesn't know what that means specifically, once you spend some time going down a short, set path, the game opens up a lot and you can really just do whatever you want to complete different things and get different items. It's all up to you. There's a lot to collect throughout the world, so if you're someone who likes collecting things, you will have a lot to work for. Similarly, there are a ton of decorations and ways to customize your house, so if you're someone who likes that, you will also have a lot to work for. Highlighting collections more in depth, there is a lot you can explore. As you find different things around the world, you check them off in your collections tab to show your progress. When it comes to things like crafting materials, you can hover over items that you collected to see some specific information, the most important being which district, aka zone or map, you found it in and which region of the district you found it in. So if you forget where exactly you got something, you can check back in this tab in order to reorient yourself to it once again. This includes stuff like seeds, where you can remind yourself where you got seeds, including at places like Hazel's seed shop, and also what the growth time and water time for seeds are. This is also a decent method to browse through everything that is available to be collected in the game, especially if you have already collected it. This is particularly useful for things like housing decorations and clothing items, where you can see what you have unlocked to try to help you with envisioning what you want your house or your character to look like. And additionally, you can access all the datapad information that you can collect throughout the world, so if you skimmed through something quickly and want to go back to it more in depth, or if you just straight up forgot and want to remember, you can read through all the datapads once again. The single biggest sense of progression that players will experience through the game are the skills. There are several different skills connected to various gameplay mechanics. Some you start progressing immediately once you begin playing through the game, while others are unlocked as you progress through the initial questing experience. As you level up skills, you also get skill points that you can spend on individual perks connected to each skill. The perks will help make that skill and your character better in different ways, with most perks being locked behind achieving a certain level within each specific skill. Every skill is pretty straightforward once you understand the basics, so let's just go over the basics by highlighting each one. First is salvaging. This is one of the basic gathering skills that is connected to the hammer. You can go around the world and find unique things to break in each of the different zones to get different items, requiring a better and better hammer as you progress further and further into the game. Each zone features unique items that you need to salvage in order to use for your own crafting and decorating. A good chunk of your time in the game will definitely be spent just collecting different things with your hammer, so your salvaging skill will naturally go up a lot. The different perks you can get are connected to the ideas of making your hammer more efficient, while also being able to carry more of the items that you can get with your hammer. Second is foraging. This is another one of the basic gathering skills, but this time connected to your pruners. While with the hammer you're hitting big, heavy objects, the pruner is more important for getting things like flowers, berries, mushrooms, cardboard, and other related stuff. Just like with salvaging, this is another basic idea that you will spend a good chunk of time doing in the game, and as such, you will naturally level up this skill a lot. And just like with salvaging, most of the perks are connected to making your pruner more efficient or increasing the amount of items you can carry that you get with the pruner. Third is crafting. With all the items you get from salvaging and foraging, you can throw them together to craft different things. You need to craft a lot of things to upgrade your tools, get important items, and get other workstations that let you craft different things like the tailoring station, where you can craft clothes to wear. Crafting clothes also contributes towards your crafting skill. As you craft anything in the game, you will get a ton of crafting experience. As such, this is another skill that you will naturally level as you progress through the game, and as you would expect, the perks are connected to making you more efficient with crafting and also allows you to carry additional refined materials made from the basic materials you salvage and forage. Fourth is farming. This is a pretty simple idea that you see in so many other games like Loftia. You can get garden plots at your house, plant seeds, water them, and get crops that you can use or sell for money. This is a pretty good way to get some money or dues early in the game, and it is also pretty important for the next skill we are about to talk about. The farming perks are related to carrying more seeds and crops, improving hydration, and improving farming efficiency. Fifth, as expected, is cooking. With the items you get from farming, but also with some of the items you get from foraging, you can create food at a cooking station. Here you can combine ingredients together to get some food that you can sell for some money or use for certain objectives within the game. Perks from cooking are similar to every other one, where you can increase the efficiency of cooking and get some ingredients back. Sixth is fishing. Similar to how cooking is in other games, fishing is similar as well, but with its own slight twist. Once you get a fishing rod, you can go to different bodies of water and look for little disturbances into the water where fish are swimming around. You can then aim your fishing rod to be near that spot to then try to catch a fish. If you do hook a fish, there's a small mini game that you do play, kind of like how you have to do a mini game in Palia or Stardew Valley, but the mini game itself is a tad bit different and is pretty easy in my personal opinion. And if you fail, you can still catch a little bit of stuff like algae, so your time isn't completely wasted. The more circles in the minigame correspond to the rarity of the fish and how difficult it is to catch them. And once again, perks help out with your fishing, including a second chance perk that has a chance to give you another try on the same fish if you fail the minigame. Seventh is research. You get this from completing the different bundles around the world that we talked a bit about earlier, where you need to collect different items and bring it back to your research station to complete the bundle to get some rewards, including research experience. Perks related to research are actually beneficial towards getting more energy on your island, more water on your island, and increasing the carry limit of all artifact type items. Eighth is repairing. This is basically another resource gathering skill that uses the special wrench tool and is primarily used in the grid fall. You can repair different things around the map and also get special crafting items while doing so. Perks in this category give some beneficial effects when you repair things, like a perk to spend less repair kits and get a little speed boost after repairing. And ninth is community. This final skill is connected to a few different exploratory activities you can do in the game. The biggest being the adventures that you can participate in with other people, finding data pads in special areas of the map, and completing any of the group activities you can find throughout the world. And just like how every other perk is for every other skill, you can get perks to make exploring better. And these are all 9 skills. Each one is connected to a different big aspect of the game and represent a lot of your progress through the game. And each one is important to progress so that you can improve your character and ability to get different things. All of this will help feed back to the ideas of being able to craft more items, get more clothes, expand your house, complete content in the world, and other related ideas. For me, I find the progression system in Loftia really fun. Once you complete the initial progression of the game, you have every big thing unlocked, and you can obviously go about this at your own pace, but with each step you take, you will eventually get everything you need. And once you have every big thing unlocked, you can do whatever you want in the game. Like before, you can do this at your own pace and decide what you want to do when you want to do it. This is kind of the whole purpose of the game after all, enjoying the world, hanging out with some people, and progressing through the game when you want, how you want. Part of me isn't super driven to max out everything in the closed beta since we do have limited time and since everything is being reset before the early access release so that everyone can start the game at the same point. But I know that once early access does release, that I am going to dive super deep into the progression of this game and try to get as much stuff as I can and max everything out that I can. And to that extent, I am excited to see all of the different things that I can unlock so that I can make my character look cool, make my house look cool, and just experience the game in its entirety. I'm assuming as we get to a higher and higher skill level, leveling up each subsequent skill is going to be a tad bit longer than the previous ones, which I feel like I've already experienced a tiny bit at the lower levels. It will also be interesting to see how the game feels after you have progressed through everything and have everything unlocked, and to that end, how long it will exactly take. For my first few days of playing in the closed beta, it seems like there is already a ton of stuff to collect and that it will take a decent amount of time to find and get everything, and that the content available in the beta is only a part of the total amount of content coming in early access and up to the eventual full release of the game. I hope this video helped you understand how the progression of Loftia works. This is a topic that a lot of people care a lot about when it comes to games, since it is one of the biggest gameplay mechanics that any player will be interacting with. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want more Loftia content, because I have a lot more coming soon. Have a good one, everyone.